The point being made here, like we learn more clearly from that of Nuh alayhi salatu wassalam's story, where he was told, now spend your time building the ark. Whether they laugh at you or not, don't worry. Use your time positively. Build the ark. Prepare for what is to come. We are telling you they're going to be destroyed. And we are also telling you they will be destroyed with water. And we are also telling you that you save yourself. And now that you've continued telling them for so many years, we are telling you how many ever have accepted, they have accepted. The new people, nobody's going to come in. So just hold back. You don't need to call them anymore. It's over. Still, he called his son at a certain stage. And I'm sure you know that the verse of the Quran speaks about how he was sore to see his son not in the ark when the waves began to come. And he says, Allahu Akbar. Nuh alayhi salatu wasalam calls his own son. And he says, don't be from amongst those. Don't be from amongst those. And his son says, سآوي إلى جبل يعصمني من الماء. Oh my father, what do you know? I'm going to climb the mountain. I'm going to climb the mountain. It will save me from water. But this is your father. He's calling you towards Allah. He's calling you towards being saved. What was it costing him to jump into the ark? This is the height of stupidity. And this is what sometimes we do. And I want to today draw a line between, or draw a parallel, an example between what we've just heard about Nuh alayhi salatu wassalam and how it applies in my life and yours. You see, here's the son. Logically, if he jumped into the ark, he was not losing anything, was he? Nothing. If there was going to be a flood, he was going to be saved. If there was not going to be a flood, he would have just had a good time in the ark. That's it. Counting the animals, I guess. But he did not use his logic. Now that he's out, you see the probabilities. We need to think when there are probabilities and possibilities. You need to save yourself totally by using common logic, that common sense. Sometimes we don't, and I'm going to get to it just now. But let's go back. If he was now out of the ark, so there's a possibility of being drowned or not being drowned. Am I right? So now that he's out, if the drowning, if the flood does come, he's dead. And if it doesn't come, if it doesn't come, he's saved. One of the possibilities is he's dead. Out of two possibilities, one of them is he's dead. And this side here, had he jumped in, both possibilities are he's saved. Are you following what I'm saying? So why didn't his logic lead him to doing that which either way he would be saved? Now let's draw it into our own lives. Sometimes we have something that we're doing. And you know, half the world is telling you this is wrong. This is wrong. You're not supposed to be doing this. And you're not supposed to be engaged in this and so on. And they are showing you evidence to prove that this is wrong and this is not supposed to be the case. And the other half is saying, no, you must do it. And they also say, look, although the Messenger ﷺ did not do it, but there's no harm in doing it. Now that statement, I want to ask you a question. If someone says the Messenger ﷺ did not do this act of worship, but there is no harm in doing it, you know that is equivalent to telling you just stay out of the ark. There is no harm in staying out of the ark. It's the same statement. Why? Because if you do it, there's a risk of going to Jannah or Jahannam. Am I right? And if you don't do it, you're definitely not going to head to Jahannam, because if you left it out, you know he didn't do it. So it can't be something that is so desperately needed in the Sharia. I won't die without it. Allahu Akbar. I hope you understand the logic here. Whereas when you do it, like some people debate over little items, and I tell them, brother, why don't you do those things that there's no debate about? Why don't you steer yourself clear from controversy? Why don't you do that? If you know that there is a proper legitimate argument of something and people are telling you this is not from the Quran and not from the Sunnah, the best option is, you know that those things that are from the Quran and are from the Sunnah, the whole world agrees on them. Allahu Akbar. So why do we want to enter territory that is so disputed when we have not yet gone into territory that is not disputed? Look at the logic. And then we read the story of Nuh alayhi salatu wasalam and we say, you know, poor fellow, he drowned. The father says, قال لا عاصم اليوم من أمر الله إلا من رحم وحال بينهما الموج فكان من المغرقين. Allahu Akbar. Look at how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says Nuh alayhi salatu wasalam is still telling his son that today nobody shall be saved except those whom Allah has had mercy upon. You can climb your mountain and you can even hang on the clouds. Nothing will happen. Nobody is going to be saved besides those whom Allah has had mercy upon. And suddenly there was a wave between them and he was taken away from amongst those who were drowned. So how many of us are drowning? Drowning in what? Engaging in futile items, things that are not from Islam, and we're calling them Islam. That is as big a risk as it was for the son of the Prophet Nuh or Noah, may peace be upon him. It's the same risk. He might have been drowned physically with water. We are drowned sometimes spiritually, where it means we are gone. We engage in something that ma anzalallahu biha min sultan. Allah did not reveal authority for us to engage in that type of item, considering it an act of worship and so on. So this is a lesson to be drawn. As time passes, should we be drawing closer to Allah or further away? The more we have of that which is besides Allah, the less we will have of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The more we increase in our lives the devil, the less we will be having of the purity of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.